If you're a teacher or a therapist, you've probably at some point wished that you had a work-life balance. This is pretty normal. But the thing is that this is actually backwards. It's actually the opposite of what you want to strive for if you want to, number one, feel less burnt out, and number two, if you want to feel more fulfilled in your work. I'm Karen Dudek-Brannan, and I help therapists and educators be better leaders so that they can show up in a way that allows them to make a bigger impact on their students and their clients. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about the concept of work-life balance, because this is something that's promoted in a lot of the self-help literature out there. And it's something that people talk about wanting. But the thing about this, trying to get this balance across all areas of your life, is that it's just not attainable. And so people always say that they want to, have it all. They want to be able to have the family life and the career and the personal life. And you can have all those things, but it's really hard to focus on all of those things at once. And so I'm certainly not suggesting that we need to burn ourselves out and go all in on work and neglect your family, or go all in on your family and neglect your career, or anything like that. That is actually the opposite of what I'm saying. I am saying that you can perform at a high level in your career. You can have healthy relationships in your life, and you can also have your own, personal things that you like to do outside of your family and your career. But we don't achieve that by trying to get a work-life balance and focus on multiple things at once. It's funny because on a lot of resumes and things, they kind of promote multitasking like it's this great thing. But actually, when you try to multitask, you end up not performing really well at anything because you're so distracted, and you can't really perform at the highest level at any one thing at any given time. But the good news is there's actually something else that you can focus on that is going to achieve what you really want when people say that they want a work-life balance. Because when people say, I want a work-life balance, what they're really saying is that they don't have enough time to devote attention to things that really matter to them. When they're striving for that, that's ultimately what they want. And that's not going to be achieved by making yourself feel scattered and trying to think about all the things all the time. So in my most recent episode of Are They 18 Yet?, which is my podcast for educators and therapists who want to support K-12 kids to grow up to be healthy adults. In my most recent episode, I actually talk about this concept of work-life balance and how you can shift your thinking around this and strive for something else that's actually going to achieve what you really want, which is, again, we want to be able to perform at our highest level so that we can devote enough time and energy to things that matter to us. So if you're a therapist or a teacher, a lot of times people just want to be able to feel less burnt out, but they also signed up to do what they're doing so that they can make an impact on the kids that they're working with. And there's this feeling of guilt all the time because people tend to feel like they're pulled in all these different directions. And so in my most recent episode of the Are They 18 Yet podcast, I talk about the solution to this problem. And it's not a work-life balance, it's something else. And I share what that is in the episode. So to listen to the episode on why work-life balance is unattainable and what you want to strive for instead, you can just go to my website where I house all of my episodes for the Are They 18 Yet podcast. You're going to want to go to drkarendudekbrannan.com/blog, and you're going to want to look for episode 73. The Are They 18 Yet podcast is also available on all podcast directories, so definitely subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast, whether it's Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, or really any of the directories, you'll be able to find it on there. So again, Are They 18 Yet podcast, episode 73, for the antidote to burnout that's going to allow you to show up for your students in a way that makes a bigger impact without burning you out. Again, that's episode 73. Check it out on the